Yo, what is good, my anime people? What is good, yo? I'm trying to have my mic completely full blasted, and I'd rather be heard than not heard. I wasn't trying to sound ridiculously tired, I just wake up like that. But with our show coming to an end and learning more about our two-star hunter, I have to say that it's gonna be sad to see him go, man. Even though we should get another season sooner or later, and we should watch him grind his way to getting another conference call with a goddess. I guess not a clerk next time. um, I have some mixed feelings about this show. For one, it was cute while it lasted, and it felt like as if the show itself was going in some interesting directions. But at the end of the day, it also felt like a show that was just relaxed, a show that knew it didn't have to try too hard to get across what its points were. It just showed up on the spot, did its thing, and was enjoyable at the end of the day for me. Uh, my other feelings about it is that even though someone is considered to be a much higher rank than they actually are shown to be, it goes to show you that you don't need to be ridiculously powerful or ridiculously, uh, you know, unga bunga, as some people say. But yet, all you have to do is show up and be who you are, and you could probably make a better difference in the battle just by showing up and helping in any way, shape, or form. I like that a lot about this character because fighting a monster who has some type of um, ailment, I'll call it, from the big gate that we're trying to travel to find the father, which kind of feels like in Hunter x Hunter, the whole entire uh, other island, or like the other, like Greed Island or whatever, I forget what it's called now. But there's a whole nother place where all the characters couldn't go because it's just the place there is where the strongest of the strong species live, and something like a chimera ant that had came from this place almost wound up causing the extinction of the human race just by being alive. So if we go to a place where he was actually, where there's more chimera ants that are supposed to be around, you're not gonna have a good time. And I feel like the big gate has that kind of hype to it right now. Like, we're seeing all these monsters that are pretty dangerous and pretty deadly, but at the end of the day, they aren't nothing because clearly when the big gate has some kind of influence on them or some kind of mutation on them, we actually get to see what it's like to fight stuff in there. There could be a whole entire section of just monsters that have this weird psycho, like, what is it, psychopath management or something like that, where they just can control and make all monsters obey to its will. Now imagine having a whole bunch of ridiculously high monsters that are actually deadlier than the ones we see this monster controlling, and we put that into perspective of how deadly controlling all of them to attack one group of, rankers or adventurers, it'll be bad, not to say the least. So I honestly was enjoying myself learning more and more about just what's going on in this world and what could be possible. But at the end of the day, it also comes down to how are all the characters handled, what did all of them do or bring to the table. And they didn't bring much, right? Like, the whole story kind of allowed everybody to shine, And unfortunately, if you don't like a main character that isn't the end all be all, like the strongest person doing all the craziest stuff, I don't think you like this show too much. But when it did come down to him showing what he is capable of and what he brings to the table, that was well worth it. In the case of, like I said, fighting a monster that has ailments from the big gate and making it feel easy for every single one of his teammates to continue to fight forward, and winds up showing us that they're just completely capable of handling these situations that didn't feel manageable, as long as the president is in charge of the moves, in charge of every step of the way, just because of his knowledge, just because of his, um, his way of putting people in positions that they want to be in. He's not going to use someone's skills in the wrong way by telling them to do something. And that's the really cool part about his character, is analyzing every single thing that your team can do and then putting him in a position to win. I think that's a very underrated skill, and this show itself shows how underrated it is by practically just saying, "Oh yeah, well, he's a two-star hunter in the books, but if we really, really wanted him to be what he's supposed to be or what he's worth, he would be a 7-star." And a 2-star to 7-star is a ginormous leap from what I can understand, and it's pretty funny to see everybody's reaction to hearing that and knowing that this person who they've been kind of treating as like he's useless type of deal has just pretty much shown that he is more capable than they ever could understand, and that maybe sooner or later he's gonna have to step up a little bit more, um, before things take a turn. Excuse me. Before things take a turn for the worse, he needs to actually make a move to put his friends and teammates in a better position, not to even worry about said moves. Because I feel like with him withholding all this information, and with us thinking that he actually did some workplace violence, when all it came down to is someone punched him in the face, broke his hand on his face, and then got revenge by getting him fired, to then come to find out the man starts selling watermelons for the rest of his life. Oh my god. Like, the show in itself has very, very interesting ways of just moving forward, and I'm looking very much forward, see what I did there, to just seeing where the show ends off as a whole, because I really did enjoy myself watching it and kind of just relaxing, right? Like, we just relaxed our way through the whole entire season, and not a lot of shows can do that and still be entertaining. Like, a lot of things were easy to call out, yes, but was it fun and entertaining to watch? Yeah, it was. It was cool to learn about these characters. It was cool to see this brand new world, talking about dungeons and different monsters that exist all around the world. But nonetheless, it was just fun to watch the show with you guys. So thank you so much, my anime people, who are stopping by and watching these videos, or even just giving me a minute of your attention, even if you're not subscribed. I truly do appreciate all of the support, even if it's just a click and you don't even watch long. I see you guys. But yeah, I hope you all have an amazing day, night, evening. I hope things get better for you if things are bad, and I would love to hear from you in the comment section if you really want to talk to your boy. So, all that being said, everybody, take care, and I'll talk to you in the next one. So that being said, I am your boy, the Anime G, and I'll talk to you later.